All right, so today is May 6th, and I was really tired today. I think it's because I ate too late. I let my hunger get the better of me. And then I watched, which is free on YouTube, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. And I am reminded by the line, when the legend becomes true, print the legend. And we're looking at today the propaganda, the misinformation that's out there by the establishment. And this is nothing new for the establishment. The establishment does tell the truth at times, but the establishment also gaslights and tells lies. And this has been happening since, I would think, the beginning of any type of powerful government or powerful establishment. And America is no exception to that. We certainly, through the early part of our years, through the early part of media, we had a very positive sense of America and American history. And then later on, we started to show some real cracks in that and show some things about America that weren't so noble and good. Now we are raising certain leftist groups like the Black Panthers kind of to saint-like status. And wasn't necessarily like around at that time, but there are, I believe, legitimate criticisms of them. They were not, most of them were not saints, and there were a few nasty things that they did here in America and overseas. But the mainstream media doesn't necessarily talk about it. And, like I said, you think YouTube, it would be the age of information, but it's really the age of, it's become the age of censorship and punishment and really gaslighting. There was supposedly a YouTube clip of Richard Pryor talking about his time in the military, and Richard Pryor spent a large portion of his time in the military in an army jail or in a military jail, because he and other fellow black soldiers beat up and stabbed a white soldier. And I believe he had talked about it at the Playboy Club, and it wasn't something that made him look very good, so they completely scrubbed that from YouTube. There was also, I remember seeing a thing on welfare statistics on Phil Donahue, the Phil Donahue talk show. And what you believe about welfare, I'm not going to get into the whole disparity thing, but you'd be completely wrong. And I've looked at the facts too. There are distorted facts that that even conservatives believe, but they're completely wrong. I believe that they're completely wrong, and I think there are facts that bear this out. And as for myself, I want to say that I continue to engage with leftists, even though I know that that's not a good idea, that they will use the establishment to their advantage, and they will do things to get you banned and hurt you. So you have to tiptoe very lightly. And your main thing is you should talk to other like-minded conservative people, or people who are rational. There are irrational people on the right, no doubt, but they're not protected by the establishment. As of now, the establishment basically champions and protects a lot of unhinged lunatics on the left. And some of it is kind of mainstream. And if you try to debate it or discuss it, you will be, well, you certainly, if you're given a platform, it'll be kind of shadow banned, or it won't be largely discussed at best, and completely taken off at worst if you go against the cultural left in this country today. And that's kind of the shame, because at first, Google and YouTube, it was like the Wild West. You could basically, you could type in anything controversial, and you could see all opinions on it. Today, you cannot, and that's kind of unfortunate. One of the things I'd like to do with my nonprofit, which we're still starting, Joe and I, is to have ideas that maybe are not that popular, but people can examine the facts and decide for themselves. To me, that's what a free-thinking society is all about. And like I said, this is not the information age anymore. It's an age of control. And to me, I almost started to say, I'd almost rather deal with a thief and a crook than a woke leftist, because a thief and a crook just wants my money. A woke leftist wants my mind, body, and soul. You know, they want to enslave me to their way of thinking. And if you think otherwise, many of them are vindictive, not all, but there are enough of them that are vindictive that will try to punish you economically at best. But some of them will even go as far as physical punishment. And I don't know. I mean, they have the justice system. They seem to have a large portion of the justice system right now. And High Ridge Estates said, "Your soul is mine." Well, welcome, High Ridge Estates. You brought me up a little bit, but I'll give you my soul, because I kind of don't believe in that, but I believe in it in more of a metaphorical way, you know. But yeah, it does kind of frustrate me, and getting things done when you're tired, man, it is so frustrating. Diabetes can just wear you out. The same thing with high blood pressure can make you kind of tired. So I'm still dealing with that on a personal level. So work can be tiring, just due to the fact that I have these physical ailments. But again, I keep pushing through, and some days are better than others. Some days, I think I also have arthritis, because my joints also hurt as well. But again, I got to remind for myself not to deal with people who are not in good faith and mean to do you harm. and I should be more careful in what I'm doing. Unfortunately, I have the urge for intellectual debate with my ideological opponents, and it tends to not go very well. Facebook is even worse. I challenged my ideological opponents on there, and Facebook has completely slowed down. It just operates in a very slow fashion, and it doesn't, like posting things and engaging with people, even family. It doesn't necessarily allow me to engage. So I don't know if I can really be angry about it, but because I mean, what can I do? I mean, I don't control that, but seems to be a lot of subversion out there, and a lot of people out there who are a little bit unhinged, who are very vindictive, and there's no point in talking to them or engaging them, because then you get on their radar. And I think a few people, I'm kind of on their radar, and they don't like me. Even though I'm kind of harmless, I'm not that popular. But if I became popular, if some of my ideas, I mean, there are people out there with ideas like mine who, if you are against the cultural left, they will definitely punish you. And that's where we're going at today. Anyway, I want to say this is Brian with Transparency and Merit. Also, I'll end on this. I like this saying, perfection is the enemy of progress. So continue to carry on. And some days will be good, some days will be bad. Like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you want to. Not too many people give a thumbs up to this. It'd be nice. I want it, but I don't need it. Thank you for listening.